Absolutely. Some call it Christmas in April. To others, it's just the NFL draft, and it's only 3 days away from the newest members of the National Football League beginning their pro careers. Thursday night, it all gets going in Green Bay, Wisconsin, with historic Lambeau Field as the backdrop. What is viewed as one of the more unpredictable drafts of the year, Tennessee at 1 overall, taking Miami quarterback Cam Ward, is looking more and more likely. As for Carolina with the 8th overall pick, not as much certainty heading into draft day. And of course, draft week officially here. Let's refresh you on the current first-round draft order. Potential trade partners are in the late teens and early 20s there, but there could be people who jump over Carolina at the 8th spot as well. Of course, Tennessee is going to have that first pick, followed by Cleveland, the New York Giants, New England, Jacksonville, Vegas, then the Jets, Panthers, Saints, and Bears round out the top 10. Keep an eye on that 9th spot with the Saints. With Derek Carr's 2025 season in jeopardy, we could see movement there late in the top 10.
And before we start to break it all down, here's a look at all 9 of Carolina's draft picks this year. It'll start in the first round, of course, with the 8th overall pick. And if you know Panthers history, Carolina's actually done pretty well when they have been in that spot in seasons past. But up next, the 57th overall pick in the second round. Carolina then holds a 3rd round pick, 2 in the 4th round, and then 3 in the 5th round. And finally, 230th overall in the 7th and final round to round things out. So if you're counting at home, it's 9 total picks this year. And for Carolina in particular, it's year 2 now for head coach Dave Canales, and he, along with general manager Dan Morgan, they have had a second offseason now really to try and reshape this roster. They've had their work cut out for them, though, surely. The biggest needs, obviously, coming in some glaring spots. A dominant edge rusher, and the hope is to possibly address that on Thursday, and then more help in the secondary, specifically at safety. And with 9 total picks, you can expect some of these other position groups to really be focused on over the next 3 days. However, that number of picks could grow or shrink come draft time. And with a week final here, Dan Morgan is ready to do some business if a deal comes up.
I think we're definitely open to trading back and acquiring more picks. I think we're going to be open, to all possibilities, let's put it that way. If we get stuck there and we're not able to trade back, if we're not in love with the player there at number 8 and we can't trade back, then we're going to be ready for all different types of scenarios. So there's some really good players that we like. It's just not one position. But we feel like it's a good draft and there's a lot of talent. So we're going to be ready for all scenarios.
So it all comes down to this. One final Mockin Monday ahead of the NFL draft kicking off on Thursday. Pro Football Focus is projecting the Panthers to select Michigan cornerback Will Johnson with the 8th overall pick. And it's all about the former Georgia Bulldog, who has been getting a ton of buzz. In their latest mock drafts, NFL.com, CBS Sports, and The Athletic all have the Panthers selecting Georgia's Jalon Walker at 8th overall, and we at Charlotte Sports Live are following suit. We also have Walker landing in Carolina with the 8th overall pick later this week. Now, it was interesting last week. Panthers are not at the final workout that he had, but I think you kind of take that with a grain of salt because it's like we've done all of our prep over the past year and some change. We have a good feeling about this guy. He comes from a good football pedigree, being the son of a longtime college coach. So I think if he's there at that 8th overall pick, I don't see how you can't take him because this is a team that really needs to grow when it comes to rushing the passer. 30th in sacks last year, only getting 32, and they gave up the most passing touchdowns in the NFL. So those two stats definitely correlate. You want to be able to get those numbers. One of them down, but another one way up this year.
Well, and who knows? The uncertainty and the craziness of the NFL draft. Well, you go into that draft thinking you're going to zero in on this guy, and then some team makes a trade or they trade back, and somehow that guy's off the board. You still get guys. I've still been seeing like Donovan Ozarakus and Walter Nolans from Ole Miss as guys potentially.
Even Mike Green from Marshall.
Yeah, guys who might not be the upside that a guy like Jalon Walker can give, but still kind of can plug the need there and get after the quarterback, and all really different kind of style plays. If you get a guy like Nolan from Ole Miss, he's a guy who can stuff the run up the middle. Exactly. Certainly what they need. They got ran all over a season ago, so it'll just be interesting. We think we kind of have the idea of where they're going to go, but you never really know. It's who knows? It's kind of dictated by picks 1 through 7, and we talked about potentially New Orleans. Who knows? They might leapfrog Carolina. So there will certainly be a lot to monitor. And, of course, there's only one station to watch leading up to the NFL draft. Queen City News is bringing you to the Panthers draft party. We'll have an exclusive interview with general manager Dan Morgan as he enters the war room, and then after they make their first-round pick shortly after then. And we'll also have head coach Dave Canales and former Panther Al Wallace and a whole lot more to get to. Is the Panthers draft party. It's this Thursday at 7 o'clock, only here on Queen City News.